Okay guys, so the third activation exercise we're going to do for correcting my upper body dysfunction, we just did the deep cervical flexors, we've done the external rotators, being the no monies. We're now going to do serratus anterior activation. So again, the names aren't so important to you guys, but what this muscle does, okay, if you remember back to the earlier videos where I was talking about what this dysfunction looks like and what happens at the scapula, I said about how the scapula should rotate upwardly. So as we raise our arms overhead, the scapula should rotate upwardly, a bit like a corkscrew. If you push the head down, the arms come up, and those two jagged edges, those two pivots rotate upwardly as well. But what happens with upper body dysfunction, if we've got those arms full and those scapulas elevate, the scapulas get stuck downwardly. Okay, so as we go to rotate our arms up, our scapulas can't rotate upwardly, so we can't get our arm as high, because in order to get our arm up to 180 degrees, we need the scapulas to rotate up fully. So, and what also happens is they tend to have this forward position, they tend to have this kind of anterior tipping, as we call it. So they tend to tip forward. So again, it gives, that's what kind of gives us that rounded, or contributes to that rounded shoulder appearance, okay? So in order to get that back, we need to get the serratus anterior working, because that does both upwardly rotate the scapula, so it helps to get them to move up. So again, we can keep that arm overhead. That's what we're going to really help to move that scapula in position, so we can maintain that arm overhead, okay, so we can get that full range of motion. And also it's also going to contribute to tipping those scapulas posteriorly, so it's going to get us, help to get us out of this position, okay, keep us in that more upright position. So that's what the serratus anterior does. Upward rotation tips those scapulas back. So to get those working, what we're going to do, we're going to do wall scaption. So we're going to lean back against the wall, okay, we're going to have our feet away from the wall slightly. Okay, and what I'm going to do is what I need to make sure I do first of all is to make sure I get pure serratus anterior activation. I need to get the other muscles that might try and take over its job and try and do its, try and perform its action. So I need to get those out of the way. So I need to get that levator scapula, that muscle, that nasty muscle up in my neck that we released earlier. I'm going to do it by depressing my shoulders, and also I want my rhomboids out of the way, so that's that muscle between the shoulder blades. I'm going to pinch my shoulder blades back, and that's also going to shut off that pec minor, that tight muscle that's in our chest. So I'm going to drop my shoulder blades down, squeeze my shoulder blades back into the wall. So I'm actually pushing them back into the wall, keeping these down. And then with my arms, I'm going to have my thumbs up. I'm going to turn them out about 45 degrees, okay? And what I'm going to do is going to slide over a little bit for you guys. What I'm going to do in this position, I'm going to raise those arms overhead and try and get them back to the wall. So I'm kind of doing like a bit of like a Y shape first of all, okay? So I'm coming from here, I'm keeping my shoulder blades down, pinching them into the wall. I'm going to bring those arms up while keeping my shoulder blades down and back into the wall, keeping my elbows locked. And I'm going to try and get those thumbs back to the wall, okay? Again, I'm not elevating, I'm not doing this, I'm not tipping forward, okay? I'm making sure that I'm not arching my spine either. I'm keeping just a very small space between my lower back and the wall. Again, I'm just going to raise those arms up, try and get my thumbs back to the wall, keep my shoulder blades down and back. I'm going to hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, come back for 2, come back up for 2, hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, coming back down. Again, I'm constantly trying to keep my scapulas down, squeeze them back into the wall, back up for 2, hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, back for 2. Again, even if you guys get to about here, you don't have to get all the way up to the wall. You just use the range of motion that you have. Even if you notice you get to about here and you can't go any further because you're wanting to elevate and wanting to bring your shoulder blades away from the wall, that's fine. Just keep it strict. Go to where you can, use the range of motion you have, and work on it. You know, that's going to help to maintain those flexibility gains that you got earlier. And again, it's going to help keep us moving forward. And again, as you get more flexible, as you return that flexibility back, you can start going higher and higher as well. So, and again, if you find that you can get the thumbs back to the wall, you can progress it by just tucking the thumbs in. And now see if you can get the fists back to the wall. And if you want to take it even further, maybe we come out of that Y position and we go narrow. Okay, so maybe we go straight overhead while keeping the scapulas down and back. That's going to demand even more flexibility. Okay, so I can come straight up, keep my shoulder blades down and back, squeeze my shoulder blades into the wall. So maybe that's my next progression. If I want to take it even further, make it even harder, I can do an exercise called wall angels. So it's gonna be a bit like a shoulder press against the wall. So I'm gonna again keep my scapulars down, press back into the wall, bring my elbows up to 90 degrees, my palms back and my wrists back flat against the wall. I'm gonna keep my chin tucked, same position as I had before, and now I'm gonna try and slide my arms up the wall and try and bring my thumbs together, again while keeping scapulars down and back and coming back down. So I can push back up, I can hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, come back nice and easy, push back up and hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, come back down, push back up and hold it again, 1, 2, 3, 4. What you guys could also do, if you find that that is just a little bit too much, you could do that on the floor. You could do the scaptions on the floor, followed by the wall angels on the floor before doing it up against the wall. Okay, so those are your activations and progressions for your serratus anterior activation. Okay, so that's going to be our third activation. So we're going to do our chin tucks first, follow that by our no monies, and then we're going to do our serratus anterior activation. That's going to help to again bring back that strength in those upward rotators and posterior tippers of the scapula.